Have you ever noticed that some endings feel like death, yet they quietly mark a beginning? When life pulls you away from a narcissist, it feels like you've lost everything. You lose the person who once filled your days. You lose a relationship that once promised the world. The emptiness convinces you that you've been abandoned. But if you look closer, you'll see a deeper truth. This isn't abandonment, it's release. Painful like a broken bone being reset, but necessary for healing. This separation is never random. It is the psyche, or perhaps nature itself, whispering, "Enough. You cannot stay here." And from that point, two paths diverge. You, the one who suffered, begin the slow process of healing and becoming whole. They, the narcissist, are left with the collapse of their illusion. Their mask slips, their shadow rises, and their own mind becomes their prison. Part 1. The release. Think back to those final days. The unanswered calls, the coldness in their eyes, the promises that dissolved overnight. It felt like the floor dropped out from beneath you. But what looked like betrayal was actually the first crack in the cage. Carl Jung described individuation as the painful process of breaking away from masks, the false roles we play to rediscover the true self. That's what happened in those moments. Their mask crumbled. And so did yours, the mask of enduring lies. Painful, yes, but it freed you from the cycle. For you, this break opened the door to healing. For them, it marked the start of panic. Narcissists live off supply the energy of others. Cut off, they are like addicts denied their drug. You may have felt you lost your anchor, but in reality, you escaped their net. Part 2. The collapse of illusion. A narcissist's power has always been a performance. Like theater, it only exists if there is an audience. You were their most loyal spectator. Without you, the lights dim. To outsiders, they may still look convincing. The carefully staged photos, the charming stories, the rush into a new relationship. But Jung warned us, we all wear a persona, a mask for the world. When it cracks, the shadow emerges. Their persona was fed by your attention. Without it, cracks appear, and their shadow rises to the surface. You see it in sudden messages pretending nothing happened, in vague blame-shifting, in exaggerated smiles that feel stiff. These are not signs of strength but of collapse, because their act only worked when you believed in it. Now, their lines echo into an empty room. Part 3. Isolation. When the stage goes dark, silence surrounds them. For a narcissist, isolation is not just loneliness, it is starvation. Their entire identity depends on reflection from others. Without supply, emptiness rushes in. They may run quickly toward new people, new partners, new adventures. But like sparks from a fire, the light dies quickly. The new cannot give them what you once did, because no one else knows the script as deeply as you did. Slowly, the mask slips. Small lies contradict each other. Old stories unravel. People begin to notice. Jung wrote that the shadow always tries to break through when the mask weakens. In this stage, anger bursts out, jealousy grows louder, boasting becomes desperate. For you, this isolation becomes peace. For them, it becomes a cage. Two silences. Yours is freedom, theirs is prison. Part 4. The inner prison. The worst enemy a narcissist faces is not you, it is their own mind. At first, the cracks are small. Forgotten details, sleepless nights, little mistakes. But soon the silence becomes unbearable. Memories return like ghosts. The people they hurt, the lies they told, the emptiness they always tried to outrun. Jung described this as being swallowed by the shadow. When the persona falls, the repressed self-resentment, envy, fear floods in. They try to numb it with distraction, noise, or indulgence. But silence always returns, heavier than before. Meanwhile, you begin to feel lighter. Sleep returns. Breathing becomes easier. You face silence too, But for you, it is the silence of renewal. Part 5. Self-destruction. Collapse eventually spills into daily life. Missed deadlines, reckless choices, outbursts at work or at home. The reputation they built carefully for years begins to crumble. The fortress of image is dismantled brick by brick. They chase instant relief, drinking, hookups, compulsive work, endless social media boasting. But each attempt only deepens the emptiness. Jung reminded us that what we resist does not vanish, but grows stronger. Their shadow now rules them. This is self-destruction, not loud or dramatic, but slow and relentless, not from enemies outside, but from themselves. Part 6. Your healing. And what about you? You may ask, why did I meet them at all? Was it meaningless, or was there a lesson? Jung believed that people who enter our lives often act as mirrors. They reveal what lies unhealed in ourselves. The narcissist mirrored your hunger for approval, your fear of rejection, your willingness to tolerate masks. Painful as it is, this meeting forces you into individuation, the journey back to your authentic self. Healing means setting boundaries. It means learning that love is not sacrificed to the point of self-destruction. It means no longer betraying yourself to keep another. Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." That is your task now, to stop chasing masks and to become whole again. Part 7. Freedom and renewal. Breaking free means breaking codependency. No longer tying your worth to another's approval. No longer confusing tolerance with love. Freedom means saying yes when it feels true and no when it protects your soul. It means forgiving yourself, resting without guilt, and rediscovering the dreams that once went silent. Loving yourself is not arrogance. It is honoring the image of nature, the psyche, the life force within you. It is refusing to betray yourself again. Part 8. Restoration. True restoration is not just walking away from the narcissist. It is building a new life, learning to trust again, to love again, to see scars not as weakness but as proof you survived. Jung spoke of transformation, the alchemy of the soul. What others meant for harm becomes material for growth. Pain becomes wisdom. Wounds become compassion. Hope returns. Dreams reawaken. You realize you are no longer defined by betrayal but by wholeness. You are no longer trapped in shadow. You now walk in light. And the narcissist? Their ending is their own. You don't need to witness it. Their collapse is their responsibility. Your freedom is your gift. You are not abandoned. You are released. You are not broken. You are transforming, and your healing will speak louder than their downfall. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe, not just for more content, but to join a growing space where truth, healing, and self-discovery matter. This is Psyche Thera, and your journey is just beginning.